Henry went out on the road to meet with Devers. It's a big sign of respect. Perhaps everything gets smoothed over. Devers was just player of the week. He's hitting again. But what if it doesn't get smoothed over? This is a top-tier star that could unexpectedly be back on the market. What is Rafael Devers' value on that market? Let's do a little digging in. The first thing about the Rafael Devers deal is that it is just underway. It's early, year 2 of a 10-year deal. Devers is only in his age 28 season, and including this season, he's owed 9 years and $266 million. That's an AAV of $29.6 million, so basically he's a $30 million a year player. That used to be top dollar, used to be real money. Not so much anymore, but you can't think like that. He doesn't pitch or hit like Ohtani. He doesn't hit like Soto, who is also 2 years younger. So get that $700 million thing out of your head. We'll do some comps. But first, let's deal with Devers, the player. Rafael Devers is a very good hitter. You might be surprised, though, by some of the rankings. Large sample, last 4 full seasons, 4 years, and this year. He is 17th in OPS plus. I'll include the volume stats. He plays a lot. He's 8th in total bases, 11th in runs created, a volume stat. Overall, 30th in WAR. We'll get to that, the total game. But very good rankings, not exactly superstar rankings. Now, the Statcast numbers tell a different story. This is this year, even with that bad, slow start that he had. Ex-WOBA, expected weighted on base. Quality of contact, 94th percentile. Average exit velocity, 99th percentile. Hard hit percentage, 100th percentile. Top shelf. Now, he does not have elite bat speed. He has a high swing or miss. But again, when he hits the ball, he smokes the ball. And he does that at a superstar level. As for the rest of his game, well, that's the issue, isn't it? The whole thing started this year because the Red Sox saw the need to replace him at third base defensively. Last year, Devers was -5 fielding run value, also -9 defensive runs saved. Beyond that, he's also not good on the bases. He's been a below average in base running runs each of the last 5 years, and that's ages 24 to 28. It's his prime. So he's a big hitter in his prime, but he's a player that's also earned his spot at designated hitter and now is not accepting a move over to first base. So, let's back up. The $30 million a year player is a franchise player. That's still real money. An aircraft carrier. Manny Machado, Corey Seager, Trey Turner. Those guys, though, are still playing tough defensive positions out on the field. Devers is not. So here are the comps. Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, Pete Alonso. The age, WAR, OPS plus, and runs created going back to 2021. That's a large sample. Now, I'm showing you all these names to show you. Look, Freddie Freeman, he's up here. There's the WAR, last 4 years, 24 WAR. Matt Olson, 21. Bryce Harper, nearly 18. They're up here. Then you have the next 3. There's not such a huge gap there, right, with Harper WAR-wise, but OPS plus, 152, 136, that's a difference. Now, I put runs created way up over here just to show you the total volume of what they're hitting. They're all fairly similar there at the bottom. At the top, though, look, Olson's at 471. Freddie Freeman way up at 548. Freddie Freeman's at a completely different level. So these top 3, forget about them. Devers is right here. And he comps with Pete Alonso and Kyle Schwarber. That's not insulting, by the way. Those guys are having great years. But look at the OPS plus, 136, 135, 135. WAR, Schwarber doesn't get as much WAR because he's a designated hitter, but the volume runs created is about the same. These 3, these are your comps. Again, Alonso and Schwarber are having big seasons this year. Devers is here with those guys, though. And what does that mean? Alonso just hit the market. He got 2 years, $54 million. That's $27 million per. He has an opt-out, but still, it's 2 for $54. Kyle Schwarber just finishing his deal. 4 years at $79 million. So that's about $20 million per. And that covered age 29 to 32. Now, he's seen Schwarber as outperforming that deal, right? I think so. But these are the hitters at Rafael Devers' level. 20 million, 27 million. That's not 9 for 30 or even 10 for 30. So maybe there will be some takers on this. Maybe 30 million a year doesn't seem so much when Juan Soto's making over 50 a year. But that deal right there, that might be tough to take on. I don't know how seriously I'm taking the rumors, but the fact that this whole meeting, when the owner goes out himself and we don't immediately hear, hey, you know what, I am going to play first base, I'm wondering what's happening.
I love the fact that John Henry went out there. First of all, he's that important of a player to the franchise, and the issue is that important to the Red Sox in 2025. They need to get this thing settled. I think what he needs to do is just start taking ground balls at first base. I don't even know if he can play first base. Right. The fact that he's balking at it tells me he has reservations about going over there. It's not easily done, don't get me wrong. But why not give him the opportunity to work at that position to see if it's going to work?
But do we know?
Why would you just do that?
Right, is he that right? He's got to get there first.
Exactly.
And I expected that to happen after the owner.
I thought by now, with the manager, Alex Cora, and his relationship with him, why not? No strings attached to it. Hey, if you're not comfortable, it doesn't fine. This is just batting practice with the gates closed. Just go out there and work and see if it works. If it doesn't, we're in the same position we're in now. As far as trade value, we're a long way from getting there. I get it. The problem here is that if the Red Sox even entertain the idea, you then have to give up talent, and you're not going to get a discount on the contract. They're not going to eat any money with this.
Top shelf contract.
So that's a tough trade for anybody. It's a limited market, for, as you well pointed out, a guy who's a bat-first guy, bat-only guy, really, at this point. Great bat, don't get me wrong. So there's a limited market. Now you have to give up talent and pay the contract. I just don't see that kind of fit in this universe right now.
Tom, I'm with you. Joel Sherman was here the other day, and he thought, oh, there are takers out there for Rafael Devers because hitting is scarce. This is Joel Sherman saying this, and that there will be, and he's talking to GMs all the time. There would be takers. I'd be hesitant to take on the money for a DH only. I said most of the $300 million guys are still playing a defensive position. Where are you, Jake?
I would be hesitant to take on this, like you said, hit only with this attitude. I need a team-first attitude. And let's just go back to how this contract got in place. After John Henry was booed at the Winter Classic walking in when Mookie and Xander Bogaerts and a lot of Boston Red Sox players, Boston immediately pivots and signed Devers, their next guy in waiting, to this long-term contract. When you give a guy like this money, you expect him, his family's taken care of, you're going to care about Boston and the team first. That's not what we've seen here with Rafi. I want to point out that Bryce Harper did this. He went from the outfield to first base. It can be done. Xander Bogaerts went out to San Diego in a big contract, immediately got moved off his position. They both handled it like pros. I would just urge Rafi, act like you care a little bit more about the team in these interviews. I understand second language and it gets away from me, but I've got to have a team leader, a guy I'm invested in for 9 years, act like he cares about the team over himself first.